How's it going?
Hey, Leonardo, I'm fine. How about you?
Yeah, pretty good. I can't complain.
That's nice. Okay, I'm also trying to call Angie in Aurelia. Give me just 1 second. In the meantime, I'm gonna write down your name to make the report of this. So, Leonardo. Okay, so Aurelia unavailable, Angie unavailable. No problem. Okay, Leonardo. So, I'm gonna start with the lesson. I'm gonna please ask you to mute your microphone. And whenever I have something from you, I'm gonna ask you to enable your microphone. Thank you. Alright, so I'm gonna share my screen. And okay, so today's topic is about travel arrangements. Now, uh, this is a weekly lesson, so that means we're gonna have a major focus on vocabulary. And well, in this lesson, it's not gonna be different. We're gonna try to learn vocabulary. What's the goal of this lesson? We have this webpage. It's a listening exercise. So the goal of this lesson is to do that exercise. But before we move into that, it's necessarily to have some practice of those words that we're gonna see. Now, I have prepared two questions that are about travel arrangements. The first one is about what is an arrangement. And the other one is how are travel arrangements different from other arrangements? Let's say, how are they different from a wedding arrangement or an appointment arrangement? So the question is, how are travel arrangements different from other arrangements? I'm gonna write it. Okay, Leonardo. So let's start with the first question. Please enable your microphone and tell me, what is an arrangement?
To me, I would say that arrangement is when maybe you plan about the things they wanna carry. For example, when it comes to traveling, um, I had an experience, and it was when I traveled to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do an audition in a university. It was in order for me to apply for full scholarship. And one of the things that I bear in mind at first was okay about the papers that I needed to take, the visa.
Mm.
On the other hand, when it comes to clothes, I was about I had to travel as of February, so in that epoch it was winter. I have to take care of these warm clouds.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say that when it comes to packing all the things, all the things related to clothes and whatnot, you need to wear light and comfortable clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe shoes that are neither tight nor new. It's important that when you think you know what you want to pack, you have to spread it all out on your bed and
Mm-hmm.
then pack only half of what you are gonna take.
Hmm. Yeah, travel and
You don't
light.
have to be complicated about this issue, and don't take. I think that if you want to travel, it's vital that you don't take many valuables with you. Maybe you don't know where are you gonna get. You could be in trouble. You're gonna you're gonna stick out yourself like a sore thumb
Uh-huh.
if you use some kind of things. So it would be better to be simple.
Mm.
You need to know about the destination, um, about maybe if you don't know, if you don't have a friend where to go, you need to search on the internet about what kind of hotels would be more either expensive or cheap. This is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to
Mhm.
uh, this kind of situation. Maybe you don't have money, or you think that the money that you have is gonna be enough, but as soon as maybe you weren't think about the hotel, so you decided to choose the first hotel you uh, search on the internet, and you're gonna lose your money.
Mhm.
You're gonna jump again per se, and it's important about knowing the traditions, all the things relate to culture. And why do I say that? It comes to my mind a woman. He was about to be working in an English institute here in the city where I live, in Tunja.
Mm.
And she was from Amsterdam,
Mhm.
from Holland. But yeah, she had some clash. She had a kind of clash with, for example, the janitor and with other people, because, well, here in Colombia, it's normal for people to not to be on time. Maybe if you have a class, it could be either English or, yeah, many kinds of situations. You are not going to be at the right time. That's why she used to have a quarrel with people, and she looked down on those guys. So what happened next was that everybody hate her, and she had to leave.
Mm.
She wasn't able to get accustomed to Colombia's culture.
Mhm. Okay. Well, that is very nice, and I think you get the point to what is an arrangement. Yeah, we can say it's a plan, and well, it also encompasses some of those things you mentioned. Uh, but I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the preparation aspect of travel arrangement, because it's a little bit different from a travel arrangement. Now, uh, it's not necessarily for us to be completely accurate, because when we're dealing with advanced topics of grammar or vocabulary, everything tends to be subjective. So the more personal you can encompass one concept, it's gonna be better. So let's try to define this second question. How are travel arrangements different from other arrangements? Let's say from an appointment. How is that different, Leonardo?
Okay, an appointment. Maybe are you talking about maybe an interview?
Let's talk about a wedding arrangement, for example.
A wedding arrangement. Uh, I don't know. Let's see that if you are the I don't know if you are uh, the Godfather, maybe, or if you are, uh, I don't know. Well, I don't know what to say because I haven't
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been engaged. I'm not married, but I would say that my father or my mother,
Mm-hmm.
she is gonna be taking care of some aspects. Um, mm, I don't think I'm gonna be interested in doing some activities. Maybe I don't think even my fiance is gonna be taking care
Mm.
of some actions, but it's something that uh, my parents and her her parents are gonna be more accountable.
Mm.
I don't know. I
All
don't
right,
know.
that's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, so let's move on to the lesson itself. So
But
Leonardo.
because
Uh-huh.
I have, it's more clear in my mind. For example, thinking about maybe it would be an appointment that you have in order to apply for a job.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, yeah, maybe there could be other things that I could say about this.
Mm-hmm.
But do you want me to maybe add some information about this, or
No,
do
it's
you think
fine.
it's maybe
It
yeah?
was just to make clear what you had, uh, what was your understanding of an arrangement, and that is completely well said. You have excellent an excellent basis. So no problem. Don't worry. Don't worry about that. We're gonna talk about that just right now. So Leonardo, please mute your microphone as I'm doing the explanation, and we're gonna come back in just a little bit. All right? If you have any questions, you can mute yourself and tell me whatever question you have. So okay. So how are travel arrangements different from other arrangements? In general, an arrangement is just a plan. We also talk about reservations. So in the case of a general arrangement, we often deal with time differences. So what are those differences? Well, in a general arrangement, you have ongoing preparation. Whereas in a travel arrangement, let's say TA, every planning that you have or every plan that you have is gonna have a start and an end. So it's already finished when you're gonna deal with that um, type of preparation. So finished. And well, that is related to topics. We can also talk about activities, but we're not gonna talk about that because it's when well when we talk about a travel arrangement, it's socially understood that it deals with just the reservation aspect of that topic. So only reservations. It was really nice when we discussed about culture and the type of clothes that you're gonna have to deal with in that other place. But here specifically with travel arrangements, we only deal with reservations. So moving on to the vocabulary, that type of vocabulary and those reservations deal exclusively on the topic of transportation and hotels. I have gathered here the three most important words we have to know related to this topic: departure, layover, and arrival. But the way I want to do this is with a boarding pass. So we're gonna analyze this boarding pass and we're gonna try to define all the concepts that we see here. So the way we read this is from left to right and up to down. So let's start with this one. We have here at the topmost left corner, this is a boarding pass from American Airlines. So, alright, we have to get into a plane for American Airlines. Now, we have name and from. From is also related to the word of departure. That's when we get from this city and we have to move from another. So the first step is the departure. Then we have to. It's also related to the topic of landing or arrival. In this case, I'm going from New York to Milan. Now, here we have group. This is just how fast are you going to board. Notice how it's in the same line. How fast I'm going to board the plane. I'm in group number 3. That means first we're gonna have group number 1, then number 2, and finally I'm going to board the plane. Now, here we have the frequent flyer number. It should be here, but as it's a public document, it's not written. Otherwise, he might be exposing his information. But he has a record locator. So what is a record locator? This is the reservation number. And a reservation number is a term we use interchangeably with a travel arrangement. So a travel arrangement is basically a reservation number. So let me encircle it with another color. Record locator. This is the topic of today. Now we have flight. This is the flight identification number. It has some letters and some numbers. It's just the plane where we're gonna get in. I also have class. This is class G. In the case of American Airlines, all right. So in the case of most airlines, you're gonna have 3 classes: economy, tourism, tourist, and business. In the case of American Airlines, they have multiple classes. That goes from cheap to very expensive. This one is class G. So we don't have enough information to know if it was very cheap or very expensive. But when we see the word class, it deals with some benefits that you're gonna get with that ticket. For example, you can ask with a class G, you can ask for a special meal, maybe a vegetarian meal or an Indian meal, and so on. So that is related to class. Then we have date and departure. It's important to keep this in the horizontal axis, because when we have connections, you're gonna have multiple dates and even times, and this is because well, the world has different time zones, so it's gonna be a little bit confusing as to the scheduling of those dates. But just remember that those dates are written in the format of the landing date, that is the arrival date. Alright, now let's continue with the gate. This one is just related to the structure of the airport. That means you have to move to the gate number 12 in order to board your plane. That's gonna be your connection between the airport and the plane. We also have boarding time. Notice how it's bigger. Here we have 5:15 p.m. whereas in the departure time we have 5:55 p.m. and it's a little bit smaller. This one is bigger because it's the most important of the ticket. That's where when you have to board the plane, get into the plane. Departure time, on the other hand, it's when the plane takes off. And finally, we have the seat number. This one was 36J. That means you're probably on the topmost right of the plane. Let me sketch that. I'm sorry. So we have the letters. I'm gonna make it quick. A, B, C, This is the right and the left. If you have a letter that is closest to the Z, well, that means you're gonna be in this side. We also have something called window seats, close to the window, and aisle seats that are close to the hall. And depending on those letters, you're gonna be sitting on the aisle or close to a window. All right, so that's it for the boarding ticket. That's all the vocabulary we're gonna need in the case of travel arrangements. Now we also have here a quick summary. This is just a summary. It's the same information that I just explained here. It's also here, but a little bit more concise. Now, in the case of transportation, we know that this type of vocabulary has been taken from the air services. These services are also shared or taken from those services into landing services or sea services. For example, you're gonna see this same vocabulary when you have to use a train, also when you have to board a ship, or even when you're gonna get into a shuttle bus. It's gonna be the same vocabulary. All right, so of that boarding pass, we get that departure is your starting point. I'm gonna write it, starting point. Now we also have layover. Layover is when we have a connection. You have to spend some time in the airport. We can also refer to this as the time we need to wait.
Escala, ¿cierto?
That's right. No. Well, escala?
Layover.
It will be connection. Layover, it's not anywhere on the ticket. It's just the time you have to spend on the what's it called? The airport. That's just the time you're gonna be there. All right. So the time we need to wait. And then we have arrival. That's when we arrive to our point, and let's call this destination. Now, what are some of those real life events where we have to deal with travel arrangements? Well, most of the time you're gonna have to deal with this on a web page. They're gonna ask you, when do you want to fly? When do you want to arrive? How much time are you gonna stay there, and so on. And also you can have a conversation with someone, maybe an agent from a airline, and they're gonna ask, well, what is your travel arrangement? And it's all about this type of reservations. Now, right now we have some packages. This is a trend that we're gonna have from the air services, and is that they're making packages with hotels. So now when we talk about the travel arrangement, we cannot exclusively talk about transportation, but we can also talk about hotels. This one is less complicated. We just talk about check-in, check-out, and something we call room service. We also have lobby services, but it's not part of those travel arrangements that we're talking about. So I'm just going to write it with another color to keep it in mind. lobby, service. Okay, I wrote here serve, room service. Okay, and that is it for the vocabulary. Now we can move to our goal, which was this listening exercise. Now it is important, I already have it open here, to keep in mind that this type of exercise is gonna require you to repeat this a couple of times, maybe 3 or 4, because this type of exercise not only deals with listening comprehension, but something we call transposition. And the way that works is that you're gonna listen to some information, and then they're gonna ask you about that information, but you need to transpose it in order to make it complacent for that question. Well, that is the case of the layover question I saw right here. Yeah, how long is the men's layover? In that one, you're gonna have to transpose the information. So I'm gonna copy the link and paste it into the chat. Before you open it, let me remind you, this has it has exactly 1 minute and 10 seconds. But as you're gonna have to repeat it, maybe not. I'm gonna give you about six minutes. In the case if you finished before that time, let me know, please. And I'm gonna be here.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. And how well did you do? Did you get everything right?
Yeah,
All right. Very
uh,
nice.
yeah, it was a little bit complicated. Uh, some kind of things related to maybe this name Salt Lake City, but
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, Salt Lake City is yeah, is an important airport in the United States.
Hmm.
I don't know where is it located, but
Well, it's referring to the city itself. So I'm not completely sure, but it might be the name of the airport and also the city. But that's really nice of you that you got everything right. Now it's important to mention from that exercise that that type of listening exercise you're not gonna get it in, let's say, an international exam, because in an international exam you're gonna be asked about only comprehension. You're not gonna deal with
mhm,
transposition. Now
mhm,
let's move on to the closing of this lesson, and that's about travel arrangement versus trip. So this is practically a summary, and the difference is also here in time. A travel arrangement is something you do beforehand, but that it has an end. Whereas a trip is also an ongoing um, preparation, and that's the difference. Also, we can talk about, well, a travel arrangement is only when you make the reservations, whereas a trip is like, as you were saying, knowing about the culture. Maybe it's talking also about how long it will be, that journey. Maybe it's about 1 week, 2 week, or 1 month. And we can also talk finally about vacations. Vacations. That's just exclusively to the topic of um, pleasure,
mhm.
and that's it for today, Leonardo. I'm wondering if you have any question about this or anything that you'd like to know.
No, by the way, it was such an interesting class, and there were some words that maybe are part of my basic vocabulary.
Mm.
And this is what I like about this class, that maybe when you're not good at some kind of topics, it is a review, because maybe let's say that you have the opportunity to take an international exam
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna be asked about a certain topic, maybe related to those topics. And if you don't have an idea, or maybe if you haven't used this vocabulary, then you're gonna be in trouble. But
Hmm.
after using this vocabulary once again, over and over again, it's highly likely that you're gonna get a good result.
Yeah, that's true. And
And
yeah.
yeah, because you were telling me that the audio was a little bit difficult. What I tried to do was take notes. Yeah, after the second time, I did well. I was able to catch, yeah, to have a gist
Mm-hmm.
about the topic. Yeah, it was significant. Very good.
All right, I'm happy to hear that, Leonardo. Well, in that case, this is the end of our lesson. I appreciate your attendance and also your participation was on point. It was really good. I hope you have a nice day and take care.
I have a question for you, David. Are
Mm-hmm.
you currently living in Colombia, or maybe are you in the United States?
No, I live in Italy,
In
in
Italy?
the city of Crema. It's about 30 minutes from Milan.
Um, what are you doing there? Are you studying anything in particular
I work
apart from English?
I work as a translator, yeah, of Italian and English and Spanish. Mm.
Awesome. But how long have you been working as a translator?
Uh, 3 years now. Yeah.
And can you tell me a little bit about your experience? Because one of the dreams that I have in the foreseeable future
Mhm.
is become a translator, but I know that it's something that demands effort,
Mhm.
dedication. You know,
Yeah. It well, most of the experience and the competences that you get in translation develops over time, because every time you translate something, it's like a new encounter to something, and the way you develop those are just with practice, and but this is really important, with real practice. This is called in pedagogy the problem solving approach. So you learn by doing problems, by having problems. That's for the case of translation, and it has worked really well for me.
and yeah, it is just like a hands-on experience.
Like what? Being here or working as a translator?
Yeah, working as a translator.
Yeah, it's a wonderful experience. It's I really love languages, so this is also subjective. If you like languages, you're gonna love any work that has to deal with languages. Either is being a teacher, translator, even a guide. If you're using language and you love languages, it's gonna be wonderful for you.
But and wait, when you were living in Colombia, uh, where do you study English?
Uh, but my first degree is in economics, and I'm and I have a certification of the TOEFL, and that's it. I learn most of my English by myself. And at the other time,
Um,
you were telling me about you learn with also watching videos, and that's really good. I also did the same.
yeah, especially something that you like. Uh,
Yeah,
by well example, I like watching anime, Dragon Ball,
yeah,
and
exactly.
yeah, you can find videos. You can find videos, for example, about why Vegeta or why Bulma was interested in having a relationship with Vegeta. Well,
Mm.
those kind of things. Or maybe there are people talking about the new movie. There are many kind of things that you could learn, and
Mm.
yeah, this is something very important. Um, I don't know. I was gonna tell you another thing that was for me interesting. Okay, you were saying that you study economics, but yeah, if I tell you about my experience, I'm a musician. I study music
Uh-huh.
at Javeriana University, and
Oh.
then there were other things that I had to do. I wanted to do a master's program in the United States, but it fell through. This is a long story, but I have to take the TOEFL as well. By the way, I took it 3 times. The first time wasn't a little bit, yeah, it wasn't good,
Uh-huh.
but after trying, um, maybe after knowing how I could attack the TOEFL, um, I improved a little bit more, and it's awesome that you can find people uh, working on different crafts.
Mm.
You know, there are. I know.
Leonardo, just give me 1 second. I got a message from Aurelia. So Aurelia, don't worry. Yeah, it seems a lot of people were having trouble with their connections. I recorded this session, so by the time I'm uploaded to YouTube, I'm gonna share with you. It was about traveling arrangements, and well, yeah, I'm gonna share the video with you. All right. Um, so Leonardo, I have to go now, but it was really nice talking to you. And well, if you want, you can talk to me about anything outside the schedule of the community. All right.
yeah, It'll be nice for me to do
Okay,
so.
nice, great. So, guys, have a nice day. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
have a good one.
Okay, thank you, teacher.